me ask you this. So we've talked about, Jerome Ford, that hamstring injury. We've also talked about Wright injured, Isaiah Thomas injured. Those were guys that were going to kick inside. Do you think the Browns need to bring in a veteran running back, maybe a veteran defensive tackle? Who do you think they look at? Tell me, running back, defensive tackle, both, and throw out a couple of names.
Yeah, so I think running back they might need to explore. I don't, just because the unfortunate thing is we don't know how severe Jerome Ford's injury is. I mean, it just happened today. So we know one thing, that they're not just going to make a panic signing. So some names that at least I would look at as far as being available, I do think, and it'll depend on price, but I do think this is the type of situation where the Browns could, and I'm saying could, explore a guy like Ezekiel Elliott. He's clearly not getting the money he wants. You could probably get him very cheap on a one-year contract, especially Jerome Ford's hamstring injury is serious. But some other names, J.D. McKissick, I really like him as that receiving type of back. But it's really going to come down to how severe is this injury, and that'll determine who the Browns potentially look at. I don't believe they're going to be in the market for Dalvin Cook, because I still think Dalvin Cook wants just too much money than what the Browns are looking at. But a guy like Ezekiel Elliott could make some sense just because he's clearly not getting the money he wants, and I think you could get him very cheap. But again, I'm not saying the Browns are going to go after Ezekiel Elliott. It's just a potential option. They could also look at a guy like Rex Burkhead, who has been around the NFL. He is a little bit older, but he has shown that he can contribute when given an opportunity. And then at defensive end, the Alex Wright and Isaiah Thomas news really made you worry a little bit, because now that's I didn't know if Isaiah Thomas was going to make this roster, but now that's really worrisome, especially with Alex Wright, because now you have Ogbo, you have Zadarius Smith, Myles Garrett, and Isaiah McGuire basically are defensive ends. I know they have Lonnie Phelps as a UDFA. Carlos Dunlap could make some sense. He's an older guy. Akeem Hicks, I know he's a defensive tackle, but he has played defensive end as well, so he brings a little bit of versatility there. Robert Quinn could make some sense. Again, these are older guys, but those are the types of veterans that we really have available right now. Trey Flowers could make some sense. Another guy I've pounded the table for months is Matthew Ioannidis, because he can play defensive tackle and defensive end. So there are a lot of veteran names to look at. I also think they could potentially look at some of those XFL free agents, because they've been bringing in a lot of guys for workouts. So, but Andrew Berry is going to have some tough decisions coming up, especially depending on what the severity is for Jerome Ford.